What's going on, fellas? Doing a little 3v3 here on Getaway Kill Confirmed. Using the MK46, just because I like this gun and haven't played a whole lot of 3v3. There's only one previous video posted on my channel, but it could be kind of fun. But you run into a lot of the kind of players that I ran into in this game. And I'm not sure what the best thing to call these kind of gamers are. Some people like to call them tryhards because they'll use the strongest weapon and perk setups in the game, and it seems like they really care about winning because they're using the strongest weapons and perks and attachments and whatnot. But tryhard people kind of take in different connotations. Some people think of it as people who want to win, and if you're not trying to no scope across the map the whole game, then you're a stupid tryhard and you should leave us alone because we're just trying to have fun and you're trying to win. And some people think of tryhards as people who actually care about winning, which is rather rare in the Call of Duty community, especially. But there's different connotations of the word tryhard, so I don't want to use that. And the word noob works better, but it doesn't work perfectly because your noobs will be using the strongest weapons and not really play the game in the way that it's meant to be played, and just stick with one really cheesy way to play the game and just stick to it, and that's quite noobish. They really don't know how the game is played, so they just use the strongest weapons to try to bridge that gap between their skill level and the skill level of actual good Call of Duty players. But still, it really doesn't work. So what I'm gonna call these kids, and they are kids, they're children for the most part. You're maybe not the average age of the Call of Duty player, but the median age is probably 12, as is popular to point out in many a Call of Duty videos. Everyone says, "Oh, this 12-year-old, 12-year-old, 12-year-old." It's a typical 12-year-old boy in whatever 12-year-old boys do. They play video games, and even though they're not old enough to purchase the game, they have to get their mommy to buy it for them. It's still a rather common type of player to run into, but still, that's really doesn't. It's not a big enough an umbrella term to call these kids. So I'm just gonna call them Call of Duty nerds, because that's really what they are. It's not like they live and breathe Call of Duty and really care about the game and the franchise, because nerd is also taken on a new connotation in the years as well. But it's the best thing I can think of, and here's a Call of Duty nerd right there. Blind Eye Assassin with an ACR. That's your typical Call of Duty player there, right there. And the signs of your Call of Duty nerd is they'll use all the overpowered setups, like the ACR with Blind Eye Assassin and Dead Silence with the noob tube or silencer. They'll be hiding in corners with their PP2000s, or some of them will just try to quick scope, even though they can't snipe their way out of a paper bag. But those are the kind of kids that I'm talking about. They're Call of Duty nerds. They don't care about winning or playing the way the game is meant to be played. They just care about
their kill-death ratio, because, that's something I'm gonna put on my resume when I get older.
like it's a meaningless number that they put a lot of worth into, and there's nothing wrong with taking a game more seriously than others, because that way you care about the way that you play the game, and you can perform rather well when you care about how you're doing, and with that comes a little level of seriousness with the way that you play the game. But these kids, they take it to a really weird level where, these are the kids who you'll find the trolling videos. These are the kids who go screaming and crying and you get the reactions out of. These are the squeakers and the complainers. These are the kids who will send you those messages saying,
"Oh, you stupid tryhard, I hate you, blah 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 blah."
just hating on you, just because you're not a Call of Duty nerd like they are. You know, posting in the back, and look at that spawn. Oh my gosh, Modern Warfare 3 in a nutshell, everybody. But why I like these Call of Duty nerds is, one, they're not good at the game. They're terrible at the game, which is why they have to use the ACR and the PP90, or you know, use the ACR in Modern Warfare 2 with the Danger Close one-man army noob tubes, or hack in World at War, or use the MP5 with, you know, a red dot in COD 4. You know, these COD nerds are everywhere, and they're quite abundant. But what I like about them is, first, they're not good at the game, so it's easy for me to do well against them and get gameplays and get Reapers in 3v3, which is pretty cool, even though I do get shot down here eventually. But another reason is, you know, they get really serious and they get really riled up in the game, and they just take the game way too seriously. And you know, that could be funny to get those kinds of reactions and to know that you really ruined a 12-year-old's day because you beat them in a video game of all things. And that's just rather hilarious to me. And these kids, they'll whine and complain. They'll use, you know, all the support streaks with their support UAVs and their stealth bombers and EMPs, and that's exactly what these kids were doing the whole game. They're using support streaks, and they're all using the ACR with Blind Eye and Assassin. And while some people is like, oh, you know, they bought the game, they can play however they want, they still don't have to be a bunch of cheese balls hiding in the corners, because while you can play the game however you want to play it, you know, the Call of Duty community is really unforgiving when it comes to these little nerds running around with their overpowered try-hard setups, and it's just not the way that this game should be played on the online community. And that's just how I see it, and that's how many other people view it as well. And don't know how I get killed by that little half scoper right there, but that's whatever. I'm gonna call in my Pavlo and take down these nerds. But yeah, they're really annoying to play. They're easy to play. These kids are, you know, they just put too much importance into this game. You know, they'll brag about their kill death even though it's not impressive whatsoever. Their win-loss will be negative. They only use 1 or 2 weapons in the entire game, and they think that everyone should play the game that they do. I don't feel like everyone should play the game the way that I do, but these Call of Duty nerds think that everyone needs to play the game that they do. You know, they're the kind of players that you'll find in Search and Destroy, who will just bitch and moan if you're not using an ACR, and if you're kicking their ass with a shotgun or an MK46 light machine gun. But I like taking these kids to town and showing them what they really are. My final score here is 46 and 3 and 16 here with the MK on the getaway. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate your comments, and I'll see you guys next time.